live, local and loud with Jazz, Minhas and Kevin. And Trevor from Music and Leicester's joined us, but we'll be talking to Trevor in a few moments because he's just kind of shaken the rain off his coat and his umbrella at the moment. And Kevin, welcome.
Thank you. If you'd like to turn my microphone up.
Yes.
Thank you, Jazz.
Get you well and truly on air.
That's nice. It's
Kevin,
a pleasure to be here, as always, Jazz, with you.
Welcome to the show. And
Thank you.
Kevin, what have you seen since we last spoke on the show?
Oh, I've seen all sorts of stuff, Jazz. I've seen a multitude of different genres. I've seen heavy rock, lighter rock, in-between rock, alternative indie rock. I've also seen some things that haven't been rock at all. Like I saw a flute recital in Leicester Cathedral last week. That was very good, actually. A nice little lunchtime thing.
The question is, Kevin, did the Leicester Cathedral rock, even though it wasn't a rock?
No, it wasn't rocking at all. It was very sedate. I must admit, I did keep thinking it could have done with a bit of amplification. I don't know if they can have that in the cathedral. They can, yeah. It was just a little bit quiet, but it was lovely, beautiful atmosphere. So yes, I've been to all sorts, Jazz. Thank you very much.
So a wide diversity and range of music.
Yeah.
Throw some of it out to us, Kevin. What have you seen? You know, and what sort of buttons did it press for you?
It pressed pretty much all of my buttons and some more. Sort of in date order, the last one, apart from the flute recital, which was great, that was last Monday lunchtime. I think it's a regular thing, actually, between Demon and the Cathedral. I think they seem to have regular lunchtime things in there, so that'd be nice to pop it. And they're free. So, yeah, brilliant. So I saw that. Went to a band competition before that, a couple of days before that, the Sound House, which was great. It's quite interesting, that. Might talk a little bit more about that a bit later in the show, but it's a worldwide competition, so quite a prestigious thing. Unfortunately, though, the Leicester side let things down slightly because there were supposed to be 7 bands in the gig that evening, and only 3 actually turned up.
Is it quantity or quality or both?
Well, that's what I was wondering. I mean, the 3 that turned up were of a very good quality.
Yeah.
So I presume the others would be. I don't know. But
do they choose one band, or do they score all the bands, and therefore, if only 3 turn up, you're going to get a maximum score out of 3 rather than 6 or 7?
On the night, it's just scored on the night by 50% by professionals that are there, 50% by a crowd vote as well on the night, and then the band that wins on the night goes through to the next round, and it's that sort of thing. And as they go from round to round, the prizes get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the bands that didn't turn up, I think it's just a bit unfortunate, really. They're getting themselves a bad reputation, but they're also losing out in all the exposure and promoting that comes with the festival. So anyway, so that was that. Really good.
You
gig,
mentioned
though.
Prizes.
Yes.
Give us an idea of what sort of prizes you're talking about. Is it a free guitar? Is it a free sort of appearance? Is it an appearance at some prestigious gig? You know?
Yeah, I think prestigious gigs and guitars and stuff come a bit later down the competition, but I remember it's some sort of bag or box of goodies, I think, for the first round. And I think any prize at all for the first round is pretty amazing. But there was I'm not what was it? Sorry. A recording contract. Is that the prize? Sorry, that's
part of it, yeah.
Oh, right, okay, that's part of the prize on the first round. That's brilliant.
Trevor is kind of secretly mumbling the answer to Kevin, so
He is.
Not wishing to bring Trevor on without his fanfare. I'm keeping his microphone down at the moment. So a recording contract, that sounds like invaluable, Kevin, in terms of something money can't buy. Well,
exactly.
It can if you've got loads of it, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah, not the sort of thing you'd miss out if you're in a new band. So anyway, so that's a really, really good gig down at the Sound House. Fantastic atmosphere as well. All sorts of music was there. There was a bit of rapping by, I think it was Crystalis, I think they're called, something like that. And Smack Jack, bit of indie rock, and Stone Cross were all there doing some stuff. So yeah, it was good. Went there. Also went to a musician, sort of band called Finches of Attica. There was photographing there, and that was a really good gig as well. It's a nice indie rock gig. Also went to the Sound House, the Homeless Shakespeare. He had his album launch, which was a nice cross mixed of genres. There was Dr. X there with his bluesy, sort of American bluesy style music.
Former guest on the show, of course.
Yeah.
Isn't he the chap that makes his own instruments?
Yes, his own guitars out of biscuit tins. Amazing sound,
fantastic,
though.
Yeah.
Also at that gig, there were Timus, who you've just played, that amazing two-piece, who make an amazing sound. Which reminds me, we've got a two-piece coming on later in today's show. Also at that show, just a band of note, actually, a band I've not seen before called the Gin House Gypsies, coming from Northampton.
So, Kevin, we're going to put a track on from a local band, and then we're going to talk some more about what you've seen and what you've heard and what it all sounded like.
Excellent.
Demon World on Demon FM, keeping it live, local and loud. And there we heard from a local band called Her Burden. And lately, lots of guests have been arriving in the studio. Trevor's here. We're going to be talking to him in a bit about the local music scene. He's going to be telling us about the highlights of 2017 and what we can look forward to in 2018 and beyond. And then we've got some great guests coming up very shortly. More of that to come. Here's Super 73, Shiver and Shake.
Something's gotta give or I'm not getting down to you and you went the wrong way. Won't you understand that ever since I let you down, you don't look the same. Just ever excite, try guiding, yes it keeps me.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Can you hear me now?
That's local band Echolocation and a track with a title that couldn't possibly ever come true. It's called End of Radio. And our first guests are getting ready, and that's the Javelins. They're going to be playing a track for us very shortly. Before that, let's have a track from Scam, and then we've got some great local music and chat to look forward to here on Demon FM. It's Demon World with me, Minhas, and Kevin Gaughan. That's the Scam, and you're listening to Demon World on Demon FM. Our first guests have arrived in the studio. Well, we've got many guests today. Our first performing guests, and they're a band called the Javelins. We're going to get them to play a track for us, first of all. I'll get them to introduce the track and play it, and then we'll talk about the band and what they're up to.
Yeah, this is a track called Dusk. It's one of our early tracks, but we still love to play it now, especially acoustically. Wicked.
I went to the station to see if you'd arrive, but no, I won't see your face today. I wait up day and night, trying to hold on to some hope, but no, I won't see your face today. No, I won't see your face today. And I said, oh, please tell me what's the name of your game? Why are you trying to put me to shame? And I said, oh, please tell me what's the name of your game? Why are you trying to put me to shame? And here am I at your front door. I've been knocking till the sun comes in, but no, you won't answer me now. And here am I still standing, waiting outside in the rain, but no, you won't answer me now. No, you won't answer me now. And I said, oh, please tell me what's the name of your game? Why are you trying to put me to shame? And I said, oh, please tell me what's the name of your game? Why are you trying to put me to shame? Oh, yeah. And never again will I waste my precious time on you. no, I don't wanna see your face again. And never again will I put myself on this pain. No, 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 I don't wanna see your face again. No, 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 no. And I said, oh, please tell me what's the name? What's the name of your game? Why are you trying to put me to shame? And I said, oh, please tell me what's the name? What's the name of your game? Why are you trying to put me to shame?
Yeah, that's the Javelins, bluesy riffs all the way from Nuneaton. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to Demon World on Demon FM. First of all, can I just get you to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name's Tom.
And I'm Matt.
Tom and Matt, are you a two-piece then? Or nobody missing today? Nobody
Somebody
who...
missing there.
Yeah.
The bass is missing today. Bryn.
Okay. Where's he at today? Is he...
Who knows? Working, I think.
Oh,
In
okay,
London.
okay. We'll all have to work. That's fine.
He did want to come, but he didn't want to cancel his job.
No, that's fine. Well, it's great to have you in, and nice sound you got there. The Javelins, it's not quite javelin. You miss out the e and you replace it with an apostrophe. Well, what's that about?
Just the apostrophe just adds a bit of edge. I don't know. We don't really know.
Is it very Google and social media friendly?
It's a bit harder to explain Javelins, as in, take out the E, put an apostrophe. But there's other bands called the Javelins with an E. There's tribute bands. So we were thinking, you know, it wouldn't be a huge change just to put an apostrophe in there.
Yeah,
and once
yeah.
people have seen the actual name, it's very easy.
Yeah, it is standout, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a bit trickier to explain.
Yeah, and you are the only ones to appear in Facebook when you type in the apostrophe. So,
Yeah.
well
Okay.
done there.
There you go.
But like you say, you've got to remember to type the damn thing in.
So, what's your music about? What sort of stuff do you write about?
I suppose what the process really, we come to practice and there's a riff or a cool groove, and I suppose the energy, and then we kind of write towards the energy, like lyrics. Sometimes some songs are about frustration or anger, or just depends the mood of the song. Really depends the
Yeah.
energy we're feeling from the song.
So who writes music? Is it one of you or is it all of you? Do you all chip in?
We all chip in with the music.
It tends to be you. Well, I'd say mainly you. Like you, sometimes you'll come to practice with something in mind, but then sometimes it can happen more organically, where I've got a beat and it's all based around that, or Bryn's got a bass riff that he wants to. So yeah, it can happen differently, but the lyrics mainly come from Tom.
And in terms of your local sort of presence, tell us the sort of gigs and the venues that you play at.
Oh, we love to play all around, especially the Leicester area.
Mm-hmm.
Just recently, we've concentrated more on the Leicester area.
Soundhouse,
Soundhouse
we've
a
got
lot.
a gig coming up at the Musician next Saturday night. Firebug, they're all great venues to play in.
Donkey as well.
And I noticed you're from Nuneaton. What's the Nuneaton music scene like?
Not very good.
Is it a bit quiet? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't played in Nuneaton for a long time.
When we started out, we were more Nuneaton based
Right.
with our gigs wise, because these two lived in Nuneaton,
Okay.
but they've moved over to Leicestershire now.
Right.
So it makes sense. This is our local city, you know.
Yeah.
Leicester's our local scene, but Nuneaton, there's a few good places. The Queen's Hall's a good place in Nuneaton, and there's a few others. But you know, I think that Leicester's got, you know, for what we do.
Yeah.
I think, and we're closer as well. So
So good people of Nuneaton, if you're out there listening and you find in the Nuneaton local music scene a bit quiet, come down to the noisy one in Leicester.
I mean, like what a lot of bands do, though, don't they? They start off in their hometown.
That's right, yeah.
And then they disappear somewhere else for a few months to build up the suspense
That's
and
right,
the
yeah.
anticipation, and then
That's
they come
the aim.
back and just fill out the venues. Is that your aim with Nuneaton?
that is.
Oh, right.
Well, actually, no. I mean, more with Leicester, to be honest.
Yeah.
Leicester's our home for the last few years. Now, Leicester's been our main music scene, and we play a lot of open mic nights
Yeah.
acoustically. So I think we've really got inside the scene. You know, played around Leicester, got to know a lot of people, and I suppose we want to get good at, you know, with our music, get tight at playing all these venues around Leicester, go off to play other cities,
Yeah, right.
always come back to Leicester.
Yeah,
Right.
cool.
Let's talk about sort of the biggest gig you've done. Where and when was that, and why was it so special?
I'd probably say Western Park Festival last year.
Yeah.
That was
Right,
really,
yeah. That was
really
awesome,
good
that was,
gig.
wasn't it? Yeah.
We had an excellent slot, and it was just perfect weather. It was brilliant.
Was that where your Facebook photograph was taken, wasn't
That's
it?
right, yeah.
So I know who took that.
Yeah,
one.
Bryn
Jolly
had
good-
this
jolly
idea
good
of bringing
shot.
loads of inflatable guitars, and I was like, "Who are we going to give these to?" You know, maybe at like a 50,000 venue, you got all these people throwing these guitars around. We couldn't imagine it, and then we got there, and there were so many people at the front, kids
Yeah.
as well, running around, and everyone made use of these inflatables, which Bryn happily threw out to the crowd.
Yeah,
It was-
So how can people reach you? I mean, you obviously mentioned Facebook there. Just throw out some of the contact points. Where's your music at? Social media and so on.
People can listen to most of our tracks on SoundCloud
yeah.
if you type in Javelins.
Okay.
So just to emphasise, JAV'Lins, and they won't have any trouble listening to some of our tracks.
It's all on SoundCloud to download for free. It's on iTunes as well, and then Facebook, YouTube. We've got videos up there. So there's all kinds of points where people can find us.
In terms of what's going on though, gigs, Facebook, we update that with the gigs.
Okay. We're going to ask you to play another piece of music. Can you do us 2 more today?
We could do.
Yeah. Okay. Let's put you
Okay.
on the spot. Yeah. So it's live. We're local. You guys are used to playing live. So okay, I'll give you a moment just to get set up. While you're doing that, I'll just talk to Trevor. We'll bring Trevor in. So as I said, I'll just let you get your next piece ready. What track are you going to play for us?
Song called "I Will Follow."
Okay, we'll let you get ready for that. Trevor,
Cheers.
Hello
welcome.
and good morning.
welcome to Demon World on Demon FM. We've kept you kind of waiting, Trevor, just to build up the tension, the excitement amongst our listeners. Bands like the Javelins, you've been following the local music scene a long, long time.
And the Javelins,
Yes.
ever since they started almost, I think.
How have you seen them sort of change and develop, and over what period of time would you say?
Just get better and better over the past 3, 4, 5 years, however long it's been. Every time I see them, they just get more and more amazing every single time.
And they put on a really good show, don't they?
Oh,
physically,
absolutely.
jumping around. I forget the drummer's name. Always on the. He used to be standing on the drums, didn't you?
Bryn, I think.
Playing the
Bryn.
damn thing at the same time. I mean, how does that work?
Oh, they're a great band to watch.
Yeah.
They're very passionate, very physical, give out loads of energy. But I mean, it's the sheer impact of the music that always does it for me.
Trevor, let's while they're getting ready for the next number, let's just get your highlights of last year. What were maybe the 2 or 3 things that really stood out, perhaps in terms of bands or in terms of things that you saw and experienced on the local music scene?
Well, there's just so many, it's difficult to know where to start. I mean, some of the festivals, of course, that's always a big part of the Leicester music scene. Going to something like Oxjam, Glaston Budget, Simon Says took place, I think, last year, if I remember correctly. And the
Handmade as well.
Yeah, and that's right. And it's all about the top bands playing at the venues, the kind of gigs that you're going to remember for a long time to come because of those Leicester bands that played there.
Trevor, you mentioned festivals.
All genres.
You mentioned festivals, and a lot of the names you mentioned there are sort of established festivals, I guess. What was there anything new? Because we see a lot of particularly tribute act festivals, and I remember last year was it back to the 80s, and there was quite a few. Was there anything new that stood out for you on the festival scene, or was it mainly the established ones?
No, I don't think there was anything particularly new last year. I don't remember anything being, a first-time festival. Of course, there will be one this year.
Yeah.
The Texfest at Market Harborough, which is coming up later in the year. That is new.
No, well, it's not actually, Trevor, because I went to it last year.
Did you?
Yes,
in Leicester?
Yeah, in the Market Harborough, yeah. I mean,
right.
basically, just to explain, and we did actually have the organiser, because he's actually the lead singer of one of the tribute bands. He came on the show and he talked about the festival. And the reason it's called TextFest is nothing to do with texting on your mobile phone, because that's the immediate thing that comes to mind. There's actually a Texas steakhouse in Market Harborough, and I think they were quite instrumental in setting up the festival. So
that explains a lot then. Well,
Yeah.
it's new to me anyway. For some reason I missed it in 2017, but
I mean,
I've clocked it up this year.
and it was a typical tribute act festival. They had a Michael Jackson tribute, Amy Winehouse, she was pretty good. Brian Adams, he was standout. So looking forward to even bigger and better things this year. And we will have the organiser back on again this year to give us a bit of a preview of that. I also, Trevor, unfortunately, I didn't look up the name, but I went to a festival near East Midlands Airport, and it was what's called a boutique festival. And it was set on a little, well, I say a little farm. It was set on a farm that was next to a hotel, and that was kind of different because all the actual venue spaces were kind of like stables and things like that. So I think people are experimenting with different types of...
Yeah, that's quite interesting, actually. I didn't go to that one myself. And for me, I think Handmade Festival stands out as one of the really good mixed genre festivals that you get in Leicester. Simon Says also very, very good last year.
Yeah.
Handmade, Simon Says, probably two of the most up-and-coming festivals in the Midlands right now.
Great, Trevor. We're going to have another track from the Javelins, and we're going to talk to them some more. We're going to talk to Trev some more, and we've got lots and lots of other local music coming up as well. Take it away.
Here she comes with a burning desire for the sweet days of living on the roofside. I've never known such a beating heart. She's tough as steel. I think I'm losing my nerve. And I can see her walking from miles away with her high heel shoes and those bright blue eyes. She's out of my league, but I'll be there someday. Cause even if she jumps the tracks, I will follow. I will follow her. Even if she crosses the line again, you know I will follow her. I can't describe those moving hips. She's a dancing freak, and she loses herself again. I'm shaken up by the fleeting looks, the teasing smile. It's the way she caught my eye. And I can see her walking from miles away with her high heel shoes and those bright blue eyes. She's out of my league, but I'll be there someday. Cause even if she jumps the tracks, and I will follow. I will follow her. Even if she crosses the line again, you know I will follow her. She almost took me all the way there now. She almost took me all the way there now. She almost took me all the way there now. Yeah. Cause even if she jumps the tracks, yeah, we'll follow. And I will follow her. Even if she crosses the line again, you know I will follow her.
Another track from our live studio band that we got here at Demon FM. That's the Javelins. Going to just throw a couple more questions at you guys, then we're going to have to let you go, sadly.
Sure.
What's the plans for the future?
So, in our immediate future, on the 27th of January, this Saturday, or next Saturday, we are playing The Musician with The Brew and a band called Dig Lazarus. And we're very excited about this gig because these bands also have loads of energy as well. So this next Saturday, 27th of January at The Musician, we are playing,
And then the extended future, we are going to release a new EP this year. It's going to be the best one we've ever done, hopefully, and we're really going to try and get it out there so not just people of Leicester hear it, but nationwide, try and make it as big as possible.
Fantastic. Guys, we're going to have to let you go, as I say, because I want to squeeze in another piece of music before you go, if that's okay. Been great having you on the show. Like listening to your music. Hope the listeners enjoyed it. I said we will get you back on again real soon because it sounds like you've got a lot going on and we want to keep up to date with how things develop and pan out for you in the future. What's the final track you're going to play for us?
It's called Inside Your Head.
Okay, sounds good for me. I'll let you get set up for that, and as soon as you're ready, we'll get that on air.
Cheers, thanks.
So, the Javelins, they're going to get Inside Your Head on Demon FM. And today, also in the studio, co-presenter Kevin. He's been good as gold as always, arranging everything. We'll talk a bit about that, hopefully, before we wrap up the show. But we don't worry about that at the moment. We've got plenty of time to hear lots and lots more great music. Of course, got Trevor from Music in Leicester as well. Always nice to have Trevor come on the show. And we'll be dipping in and out with conversation with Trevor. So, Javelins, take it away.
Brother, roll like thunder, pave the way for this wonder. Don't be vain, get on the road again. Free spirit man, walk while you can. Ignore the taunts from around you, don't fall short. You know what you gotta do. I wanna get inside your head, I mess around. You play with your mind for days. I wanna get inside your head and feel your eyes. Never be sad, always talk loud. Love the mood that's around you. You're broken now, brother, but you got the right love. You took the risk for the big time, don't change now. You show them that your time will come. I said, oh, hey, Mr. Headman, do you know the meaning of this freak show? You got that attention, play with your fire and blow. I wanna get inside your head, I mess around. You play with your mind for days. I wanna get inside your head and feel your eyes. Never be sad, always talk loud. Love the mood that's around you. Inside your head and play with your mind. Yeah, play with your mind for days. I wanna get inside your head and feel your hands. Never be sad, always talk loud. Love the mood that's around you.
That's the Javelins on Demon FM.
Demon FM.
Oh, na 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 na. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Oh, na 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 na. Yeah. All dressed up,
ready to go. Wait for
That's the band, and if memory serves me right, they're called Flip Flop Rock, and they formed for a homeless charity track just before Christmas, because we had some good folk come on and talk to us about it, and they kind of left us with a copy of that song, and we really, really hope that raised lots and lots of great interest and money, more importantly, for the homeless. Our next artist is from a band called We Be Beasts, and it's a man called Dan. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Dan, We Be Beasts, tell us a very interesting title for a band, name for a band. How did that come around? Because you were formerly Kill the Mammoth. Can you give us a bit of a rewind on that?
So up until about 2 days ago, I think, actually, we were Kill the Mammoth. We've only been together about a year, so everything's sort of been in a sort of fluid stage. So two of the guys in the band, we weren't quite satisfied with the name Kill the Mammoth, so we've actually got a song called We Be Beasts, and for a long time we've been having this discussion about what to call the band. So the other evening we sort of all settled on We Be Beasts as being the name for the project. It's sort of that animalistic feel that we're going for with the band, I suppose.
Dan, I'm always intrigued. I'm always intrigued how bands get their name, and the fact you've just decided yours 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Can you give us a bit of an insight? Was it kind of like, here's a pad, write down a few ideas, and we're going to go for one of them? Was it like a big stressful experience?
Reasonably stressful. I mean, we've been round for a long time. We've been going round and round on various different names, and when we settled on Kill the Mammoth, it was that caveman feel that we wanted to go for, that sort of primitive thing.
Right, primitive.
But I suppose it was the mammoth thing that we didn't really like. I don't know. So beasts is a little more generic, I suppose, and We Be Beasts. It's that primal, primitive kind of. I suppose rhythmic in a musical way kind of feel that we were going for.
Dan, what sort of things do you write about? What do you do your own songs? Do you do covers? A bit of both?
So it's all original material. I actually play the drums in the band, and then I sing the backing vocals as well. But our lead singer Nick, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, he writes all of the lyrics, and it's a mixture of things. I mean, the track we've got here today, the demo is. It's called Tari, and that's a Polish word for witchcraft. So it's based around. I suppose a lot of the themes that we like to look at are sort of mystical. Witchcraft. There's a song, I suppose, about love, and that's a generic topic, isn't it? And just sort of exploring those topics and maybe the darker side of things. Really.
Okay, Dan, we're gonna now you've whet the appetite. We're gonna hear the song, then we're gonna talk some more.
I got the creeps 'cause you gave me the creeps. Either that or there's a curse on me. Oh, just in black isn't black a cliche? Set the dog alight, settle with a fight. I gotta go 'cause I sold you my soul. Are you alright?
So that was a track from We Be Beasts, and we've got Dan in the studio. He's one of the band members. Dan, tell us the composition of the band. Who and what do they do?
Okay, yeah. So I play the drums in the band and provide some of the backing vocals. We've got Nick Brooker, who's he's the lead singer and guitarist, and then we've got two brothers, Chris and Matt Jones, who provide lead guitar and bass guitar. And then, I mean, at the minute we've started to sort of write more collaboratively as well. So everyone's sort of more involved in that process as we go as well.
So how long have you been around then in various guises?
Well, actually, many years ago. It's interesting that you've got Trevor here. Many years ago, we were in a band called the Lowrys, myself and Nick. I mean, maybe 9 or 10 years ago, and we, Trevor was great and sort of championed us. And
you were a very good band.
Yeah, so
the Lowrys. Remember the Lowrys?
Sounds familiar. Actually, I've probably read about it at some point in music in Leicester.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, and we then from then on, I mean, I went off to university and sort of started up a bit of a solo project, and Nick went to uni here actually, at De Montfort Uni, and then I moved to London, and then I moved back, and we sort of got together. So about a year ago, we got together. I knew Chris from I was playing the drums for Matt Henshaw as well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Loves his tea. Yeah, so I was playing the drums for him, and Chris was playing the bass. And Nick was writing and came to me with this stuff and said, let's put a band together. So we asked Chris, and Chris said, well, my brother plays guitar, and before you know it, we've got a band. Yeah, so.
I often wonder what's it like being a drummer in a band.
It's often hot and loud, and it
is loud, isn't it?
It is loud.
It's like really loud, because I've stood at the back a couple of times taking photographs, and it sounds completely different than it does out the front. And I could only stand it for a few seconds.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It does sound completely different. You really rely on. I mean, a lot of people, I suppose, if you don't play in a band, don't necessarily know about stage monitors. But we have a monitor on stage that plays a mix of what's going on, so that we can hear what's going on. Often that sounds very different from what's being played out front. But I think, I normally have ear protection in, because sitting next to the drum kit is so loud.
But then if you've got ear protection in, how do you know if you're hitting the right beat and doing the right thing at the right time?
It sort of becomes instinct, I think, over time. But yeah, it doesn't completely block out the sound, but it cuts out a lot of some of the dangerous frequencies, some of the high frequencies, which if you're exposed to for a long time can be damaging. But yeah, it's a different experience, I suppose, to any other instrument. And I mean, it's not very often we get to talk on the radio. We're normally at the back.
So Dan, We Be Beast, new band. What does the immediate future look like? How do you see things moving forward?
So this evening, actually, we're playing at the Soundhouse. We're supporting Cosmics along with Shrine. So I believe you've got in next. So we're playing there 7 p.m. I think doors. I think it's £5 on the door. So if you've got a free Saturday, come down. And then from there, I think the plan is to get into the studio, start recording our EP. In its sort of true guise, and then just more gigs, really. I think the next gig after that is the 10th of March at downstairs at the Shed, I think, after that. But yeah, we put all the information on Facebook and stuff. So.
Fantastic, Dan. Well, wish you all the best of success, and hopefully get you back on the show, because we want to track your journey as things go onwards and upwards. So it's been great having you in, Dan, so many thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And best of luck with the future and the gigs and We Be Beasts.
Thank you.
You're listening to Demon World with Jazz Minhas on Demon FM.
Jazz Minhas.
Demon FM.
Live, local and loud on Demon FM with me, Jazz Minhas, and my co-presenter today, Kevin Gaughan. And we've already had some great guests on. We've got a guest who's kind of lingering because he's that kind of guy. He's Trevor Locke, and he's talking and giving us his expert views and knowledge on the local music scene during the show. So great having Trevor on. We've already had the Javelins, so we threw it out to those guys, no pun intended, and they played some great music. We've had Weeby Beast, and Dan from Weeby Beast gave us a bit of insight into the new band that they've just set up. And our final guests are the Shrines, and they're a garage rock indie band. We're going to hear a track, we're going to talk to them, and then they're going to play some live music as well.
The dress you wore from the night before, covered in coffee stains. The memory remains a drunken haze. Remember the phrase you used to say. Vodka shots with jelly tots and roll-up cigarettes. How could I forget the things you did? I never expected all of this, and you know it's true. Why did you leave me so blue? Right there in the car park. If only we all knew what happened there in the dark. I thought it'd be us two, happily ever after, with laughter and the answers always known. Early morning, awkwardly yawning in the sunrise, and I guess sometimes it's hard to face all the mistakes you may have made. Midnight driver, Lady Godiva is your middle name, and you can't refrain nor refuse the seductive ways of your youth, and you know it's true. Why did you leave me so blue? Right there in the car park. If only we all knew what happened there in the dark. And I thought it'd be us two, happily ever after, with laughter and the answers always no. And ever after, with laughter and the answers a resounding no.
Why Did You Leave Me So Blue? That's the name of a track from our final band and artists on the show today, Shrines, and I'm told it's not the Shrines, it's Shrines in the singular. Well, it's just the word Shrines, so that if you do sort of follow them and look them up, make sure you get that bit in there. And we have Chris and John. Hi, guys.
Hi, right, nice to meet you.
Hi, welcome to the show, Demon World on Demon FM. Tell us about the band, the name Shrines. Where does that come from?
Well, it's sort of it's the name of a Fleetwood Mac album, Shrine. It was so we took it from there. Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, and then Lee from Traps recommended that we add the S on the end because it'll look better.
And does that give us a feel for your sort of kind of music, the stuff that sort of inspires and motivates you, I guess?
Yeah, I think it's sort of it gives us that sort of.
I think we try and generally do kind of more upbeat kind of stuff. I mean, with that track it's perhaps a little bit more melancholy, but with the track you'll play at the end, Glitz and the Glamour,
that's more of the upbeat
much
side,
more
so we've got a bit of a contrast there.
So how did you guys come together as a band?
Well, we've been since high school, we've known each other, haven't we? I think when we're about 15, 16 we started getting into music, didn't we? John.
Yeah, well, I kind of, you took up guitar a lot earlier than me, but I took up bass when I was about 15, and then it was a lot of kind of after school kind of things, and and just kind of finding ourselves and practicing with other people and stuff as well.
And you're from Leicester,
yeah.
So you mentioned school. Where was that?
That was Beecham College.
In Nudby. Okay, cool.
Yeah, in Nudby.
Started at Garch, we went to Beecham. But nothing really came of it. But the last 6 months, sort of thing, we've been taking it a bit.
So there's only two of you. Is that how you plan to go on, move forward, or do
like
you,
I say, in
do
the
you think
future, obviously we're always looking at expanding the sound sort of thing. So we are looking obviously for drummers and stuff like that as well. But we're obviously making sure it's the right one, and we're gaining the experience in the recording studio, playing out live, and it's quite easy, you know, to take it to open mics in the acoustic format anyway. So it's just we just want to get out there, get the music out there, I think.
Yeah, and just trying to get solid between us, but then sort of hoping
Constantly
to expand with the
develop.
drummer and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Chris, you're going to play some live music. So we're going to take it away first of all with Early Mornings Sunday, and it's Shrines.
Here's another early morning Sunday. It's a fun way to go about your life. I hope you feel alright. Here's another late night up the town when he's not around, and all the things you do can be misconstrued. She's over the limit, at least she's with it, or so you think, yeah. She's popping her pills, living for the cheapest of thrills. Oh, what would her mother have said? Here's another drunken mess. You found yourself with somebody else, and as he takes you home, I'm sure the feeling grows. Here's another night spent out the house, no with your spouse, and as he takes off your clothes, there's something he'll never know. She's over the limit, at least she's with it, or so you think, yeah. She's popping her pills, living for the cheapest of thrills. Oh, what would her mother know? She's breaking your heart and it's tearing you apart. Take me back to the start, take me back to the start. Yeah, she's breaking your heart and it tears you apart. Take me back to the start, take me back. Here's another early morning Sunday. It's a fun way to go about your life. I hope you feel alright tonight.
Thank you.
That's Shrines on Demon FM, live, local and loud. What do you guys write about? You know, is it stuff that you see in everyday life?
Yeah, well, a lot of the stuff we write about is sort of growing up in Leicester, seeing, like I say, life as a 20-year-old, and just
nights out, stuff like that.
Just people, things people can relate to, I think.
Yeah,
everyday life.
I think, you know, because we like bands like Arctic Monkeys and Milburn and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, a lot of their lyrics kind of
sort of the noughties indie, sort of mid-noughties indie stuff.
Match
really
with that,
influenced us when we were younger. Yeah.
Mm.
I noticed your genre, you say on Facebook, is garage rock indie.
Yeah, we sort of like to have a sort of a garage rock sort of tinge to it. Even stuff like, say, sort of the Pretty Things, you know, even back in the day, sort of that sort of Kinks rawish sort of sound. You know, we're really influenced from the British Invasion side as well as you know, your sort of Arctic Monkeys sort of upbeat side as well. So.
Okay. So, what in Leicester? What would you say is your next step, your next ambition? Do you want to play festivals and stuff?
Well, we've done the Glastonbury budget auditions. I'll let John explain on that.
Yeah, so we did that just before Christmas, actually.
How did it go? Did you get through?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Congratulations. Well done.
We were one of the last audition days, and we're playing on the acoustic stage for that in
on
May.
What day? Do you know?
Sorry?
On which day?
25th to 27th.
Yeah, we don't know which exact day yet. I don't think it's been confirmed.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But yeah, we got that lined up, and then as
tonight as well.
Yeah, as Weeby mentioned, we've got tonight at the Soundhouse.
Yeah, that looks like a good gig.
Yeah,
so we'll be
the Cosmics and Jitters and Weeby Beasts as well.
Yeah.
So.
And the Cosmics, pretty big band, aren't they? From Birmingham. I see they've got about 1,500 likes on Facebook, so they look quite good, female fronted. So yeah, that sounds
Building
like a good
following,
night.
yeah.
Do you like playing at Soundhouse?
Yeah, I've done a couple of sort of open mics there with Rhett, and
yeah,
you know, really, it's a good vibe you get at the Soundhouse, and you get a decent sound from it as well. So
and the staff are lovely and friendly as well, aren't they?
Brilliant. Yeah.
Seems to me they're in it for the music and for you guys. They're not sort of egotistical.
And that's what it's about, like passionate people,
getting the sound,
spend
time with it to get the sound right.
And we've enjoyed doing a couple of things at the Musician as well. We did recently supporting Dirt Road Blues Band when they were at the Musician.
Sort of Steve from Dr. Feelgood, I think, Ted from Badfinger, and Horace from the Specials sort of all came together, and we got the opportunity to play a little set there.
Yeah, so we were quite lucky with that opportunity.
But that was packed as well.
Yeah.
Nice. It was a busy one, but the sound at the Musician was amazing.
Yeah. Finally, guys, how can listeners get more information about you on social media, access to your music?
So we're on
Facebook's the main one.
Facebook's the one we push a lot, but we're on 4 social media platforms. Yeah. So on Facebook you can find it at Shrine Band, Twitter Shrines14, Instagram Shrines Band UK, and SoundCloud Shrine Leicester.
Yeah, but like I say, Facebook's the one.
That's your main.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
guys.
Band, yeah.
Well, it's been great having you on, and do come back and talk to us and play for us again in the future, just so we can kind of see how things are developing and moving on for you. So it's been a pleasure. You're going to play us out with your final track, which is called Glitz. So I'll let you introduce that, and thanks for coming on the show.
Brilliant. This one's called Glitz and the Glamour. Thank you for having us.
There she goes, putting on a makeup and a brand new clothes, hoping that's enough for one of those lads to buy a drink from the bar, though they won't get very far. She's the glitz and the glamour, if only I could have her. I'm packing my tools, she's a spanner in the works, and I don't want to make things worse. She's the glitz and the glamour, if only I could have her. Packing my tools, she's a spanner in the works, and I don't want to make things worse. Don't want to make things worse. Then she sees another guy on the dance floor. She's such a tease, acting like such a bore with no receipts for the deceit. It's in her eyes, no regret. She just forgets. It's no surprise that she's the glitz and the glamour, if only I could have her. Packing my tools, she's a spanner in the works, and I don't want to make things worse. She's the glitz and the glamour, if only I could have her. Oh, I'm packing my tools, she's a spanner in the works, and I don't want to make things worse. Don't want to make things worse. Yeah, you make things worse. Yeah, you make things worse. Yeah, you make things worse. glamour. Thank you.
Yeah. That Shrines, many thanks to Chris and John for coming in today, and we wish them the best of success with their musical career and so on. So let's get Trevor's views on some of the up-and-coming local bands that we can look forward to in 2018. Trevor, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I think there's so many bands that you need to look out for next year that made a considerable impression over the past year. I mean, with Minhas, for example, stood out for me as one of the up-and-coming bands, fairly new, but Temple of Lies, of course, if you like a bit of heavy metal, one of the great metal bands of Leicester to follow. A young band that made quite a lot of impact in last year was Noah, and I think they will certainly be worth watching out for in the year ahead. Also fairly new, a band called Traps. Some of the old listeners might remember when they were called the Booby Traps, but they're back now. They've done a number of very, very impressive gigs in the past year, and I think there's more coming up in 2018. So Traps definitely worth watching out for. Now, a band that made a bit of a comeback last year was called Demons of Ruby May, and they are one of the great music acts, I think, one of the great bands of Leicester. Well worth watching out for if they've got anything coming up in the year ahead. Certainly worth seeing again if you haven't seen them yet. If you like something a bit unusual, there's a two-piece called Earls, and quite an unusual act, but one that you really ought to see if you like something a bit raw, a bit energetic. The last gig which they did at the Shed was absolutely amazing.
Trevor, I know you've got lots and lots you'd still like to talk to us about, and we're going to keep that bottled up for your next visit, which hopefully won't be too far away. Thanks for coming in today. Thanks to all our bands for playing music for us, and of course, thanks to Kevin.
Thank you, Jazz. It's been a wonderful packed show as usual.
Yes, thank you. Thanks to everybody, and thanks to you, most particularly our listeners. This is Demon World. This is Jazz Minhas. Have a great week.